Are you also tired of seeing more of this?
You can't be American and wear that mask. You cannot. We literally had a war about this.
You ain't gonna win!
My wrist.
Down the street, the cops are gonna have his name.
Hands up! Don't shoot! Hands up! Don't shoot!
You don't need a mask.
Relax.
Man, I can't breathe my face. Let's get him.
As I watch the video and listen to the officer's commands, it is my belief that the officer had the intention to deploy their taser, but instead shot Mr. Wright.
No peace! No justice! No...
Throw the fist, man. Throw it. Throw it.
And less of this? Let's talk. Bam, badam, bam, 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 badam, bam, 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 cafe. Bam, ba, 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 cafe. Dun, 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 cafe. I'm trying to figure out how to start this. So have you ever been scrolling through one of your social media platforms, whether that be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Coke, I don't know how to pronounce it, but any of your, like, Tumblr, whatever, right? And you're just scrolling through, minding your own business, just maybe kicking back, relaxing, maybe catching up on some news or something, and you come across a post that you read it, and part of you wants to go, this can't be true, there's no way things have gone this bad. However, at the same time, you yourself have personal experience of a similar situation. And you're just like, fuck, like, what? And you're stuck trying to process this and trying to figure out what you just read and reflecting on your own experiences and just reflecting on the world in general, in the world we live in, and going, our world is so fucked up and it's only getting worse, and how do we stop it? The reason I ask is because this literally just happened to me this morning. This video is unscripted and going to have very minimal editing, honestly, because I'm supposed to be working on my finals right now. I wasn't planning on doing any videos. I have some videos already, like, recorded. I have a reacting to Monster X Chanel that I have recorded, and just, you know, I just got finished doing some editing and stuff. I just need to go back over it again. That should be going up on my vlog channel sometime next week. I have another reaction video. I have 2 reaction videos already recorded, and I have a script and all this other stuff for other videos that I plan on eventually recording. But this weekend, my finals are due. My final is due tomorrow. And this isn't just any final. This is my final. This is, if everything goes planned and I don't fuck up and everything's okay, this will be my final. I will have my, you know, that's it, no more. Unless I decide to go back for my master's degree or go for another degree or whatever. But this is my final. Like, it's a big thing. So this morning, I woke up and I was, you know, scrolling through my social media. I was checking on things, just kind of what I do, especially lately, because due to the heat and my insomnia, which I'm sorry if you're hearing any noise in the background. I have an AC unit going on this side of me, and I have a fan going on that side of me, trying to keep my room and my computer and everything cool, because we've been hitting the 80s. And luckily right now, according to my display, it's only 82 degrees at the moment. We've had a couple of days this week, it's been 100 and something, and literally we've been having power surges, which is part of the reason my Shanu reaction video isn't already up. Otherwise I would have had it up this week, but I just I haven't been able to get it up. So it's 7:30 in the morning. I went to bed at like 3 in the morning. I just can't sleep, but I'm also like exhausted because I'm like sleep deprived and I have finals and everything. But so I was just sitting there like mindlessly scrolling through social media, which I'm sure so many of you can relate to, and I came across this post. And this was literally my experience. Was half of me was just like, what in the great spirit, the gods, the goddesses, what the fuck did I just read? Okay? But then another half of me immediately remembered an incident that had happened to myself and my ex-husband about, see, Anthony's 9 now, so almost 9 years ago actually. He was like a newborn at that time, just under 6 months old. So this was when Anthony was like a baby. And we were living in Farmington, New Mexico at that time. And I had almost this exact same experience happen to me. The difference is what happened to this guy and what he's going through. At least then it happened to me. Mine was a close call. His was not. And so while I do this video, while I read this post to you guys, I want you to keep in mind this question. What happens when we give people a seat of power and don't give them any consequences for their actions? You understand why I am asking you this question here. Okay, let me squeeze myself into the freaking corner. Okay. So here's, I scrolled down so you can't see my friend who posted this. Because it was, well, it's one of my Facebook friends, one of my Facebook acquaintances who posted this. And I saw it. Sorry, I need some agua. Stay hydrated, people. Okay. So this was the post I came across on Facebook, obviously. Except it was on my phone. This is pulled up on my laptop. So, you know, I see we have a Chicago police officer here. And we have, obviously, a non-police officer vehicle here. Okay? I'm not sure if Andrew Owens is the original guy who posted it, June 2nd, 2020. But let me read this post to you and then share to you what happened to myself and my ex-husband almost 9 years ago. This post reads, I believe this is the first time I've posted this publicly. I've also shared it to my Instagram as well, at Andrew Owen Sterner. I think I pronounced that right. Anyway, AndrewOwenStenor. Okay. About 16 months ago, I was involved in a horrible car accident with the Chicago police. So this happened in Chicago. I was proceeding to an intersection when a police cruiser came at an excessive rate of speed without their lights and sirens and blew through the red light. I turned the wheel in a very counterintuitive way, which I really hope I said that word right, which probably ended up saving my life, and they struck me hard. I was miraculously not injured. I had a few eyewitnesses present who began berating the officers, saying, "You do this all the time, and now you've actually hit someone." Numerous police showed up on the scene, and they asked if I needed an ambulance. I agreed, even though I knew that the 4-block ride would cost me thousands of dollars. At the hospital, 2 officers not involved in the crash approached me, asking me to sign and acknowledge a police report and a copy of a citation. All of the information was false. It stated that I went through the signal and failed to yield to police responding to an emergency with their lights and sirens on. I politely told them what had actually happened and that I'd prefer to speak with a lawyer before signing anything. One female officer got a bit testy and said, "Well, you are aware that it's our word against yours, and if you do decide to fight this, we will all be at your hearing." To make things matters worse, the next day I saw that my accident made the Chicago news. The report said the driver went through a red light and collided with officers responding to an emergency. I spent the next several weeks talking with as many lawyers as I could. All of them told me I don't have a case. The police has immunity in situations like these. On top of that, I received a letter from their lawyer coming after me for physical damage to the officer that the officers received in the crash. The entire point of this post is not to get sympathy, it's to point out that I am a 36-year-old white heterosexual male. These police officers had no problem twisting the truth and placing the blame squarely on me to save their asses. I can't even begin to imagine the obstacles that stand in the way of black men and women receiving justice. We have visual evidence of police murdering black men only to read autopsies and police reports that state the complete opposite of what happened. Who knows how many countless examples exist for which there is no film. I have several friends who serve faithfully and honorably as police officers, but there is a serious problem with law enforcement in our country, and the police must be held accountable. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. And I will scroll back up. And this is apparently the person who posted this. Okay. So, I am sure some of you are in disbelief. I am sure some of you are going, "Oh, this is just someone being a hater, blah, 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 blah." And I'm sure if I looked up that exact post, I would find the news report. And the news in America and other places in the world have been well known for making false statements when it comes to reporting the news, or reporting it in such a way that it can twist the facts. There are countless examples of this. If you do not believe me, our last president was a really good example. Now, I'm not just riled up just because I went out to lunch with my best friend and her husband today, only to find ourselves sitting near racists and getting to listen to them today. No. I found that honestly ironic. Why roar a go fuck yourself, fuck racism video. Or racism. Sure. So no, I found that honestly amusing at first, but then after a while it was just like, I just want to enjoy lunch with my best friend and her husband before I have to go back to finals. Because we rarely ever get to do that anymore. No, I've been irritated about this post since the moment I saw it. So I saw this like first thing this morning, about 7:30 this morning. It is now 7:10 this afternoon. Okay. I have had almost the exact same experience as Mr. Owens. A white passing female, has had almost the exact same experience on the other side of the country. If you guys don't know, I live in the Four Corners area. I have lived here almost my entire life. For those of you who do not know what the Four Corners are, the Four Corners is made up of 4 states in the U.S. that 4 of their corners meet up and make up the 4 Corners. The 4 Corners is made of Colorado, Utah, Arizona, and New Mexico. Okay? In this area, we're practically our own little state. We have countless people that work in and out of each other's states and live in and out of each other's states. It's not uncommon to have your neighbor having an Arizona license plate because they still have residency in that state while also temporarily living in your state while they work. This is extremely common in this area. At that time that this incident happened, I basically was in a vehicle without a state plates while living with my, at that time, mother-in-law, while we basically found work and tried to get on our own feet and, become self-sufficient with our newborn baby. So this was when Anthony was little. This was when he was a baby. So this was in 2012. Okay? So basically, this day, we were following my mother-in-law because she had found a place where we could get like $10 haircuts, right? And Farmington, the traffic is kind of chaotic. At that time, I was still getting used to driving in this crazy bumper traffic. There's other places that are way worse. And I was at a light, and my light went green. Everyone else's lights went red. And there was a police officer who had been stopped at the red light. I made my turn, started going. I look in the rearview mirror, and next thing I know, this officer who had been stopped at the red light was literally up my ass. No siren, no lights, until about 2 blocks down the road, when suddenly he blasts his siren and lights, pulls me over, gets out, an extreme frustrated huff puff, comes up, yells at me for not getting out of his way because he's on the way to an emergency, which I pointed out, but you didn't have your lights and siren going until you pulled me over. And he's like, if I didn't have an emergency to go to right now, I'd be writing you up a ticket and taking your child to CPS. That was dangerous for your child. Mind you, I had the green light. He had the red light. He had no sirens or lights on. If he did, I would not have proceeded. So from my own personal experience, I buy Andrew Owen's fucking story. This is what happens when we do not hold people that we have given some type of power to, whether it is our police officers, whether it's the people in our government, whether it's even our own fucking bosses and supervisors and managers and anyone else that's above us. This is what happens when we give them some type of power in any type of shape and form without holding them accountable for any of their actions. And that's honestly all I have to fucking say on this matter. This shit needs to stop. We need to start holding these fucking people accountable. And making them realize they fucking work for us. They work for the people who pay the taxes, which pays their fucking wage. Not the other way around. And until we get our fucking power back, stories like Owen's, stories like Floyd's, and all those fucking Karens and Chads, guess what? They're going to keep spreading like fucking wildfire. And that's the fucking truth. I know it's sick. I know it's depressing. But that's literally what it's fucking come to, is shit like this. And someday, it could be someone who wasn't as lucky as fucking Andrew. Who was able to walk away still alive. Yeah, he's got a fucking long-ass legal battle ahead of him. That's for damn fucking sure. But he's at least still alive. But we can't say the same for those of our brothers and sisters who have died at gunpoint by officers who have decided to be the judge and jury because we no longer hold them accountable for their actions. They are no longer protecting and serving us. They are enslaving us. And I'm not speaking for all fucking officers at all. No. I've met quite a few that do give me hope and that do make me feel comfortable, and I am always grateful to see them on the road and know these guys have my fucking back. But then there's people like the officer who struck Owens. There's the officer that pulled me over for almost hitting me, doing the exact same fucking thing. Or there's the officer who, after I had the fucking nerves and guts to finally tell my abuser, get the fuck out of my life, showed up to the door and told me he would arrest me if I did not let my abuser, who by the way was not on the lease, back in my house. And 2 years later, when the judge asked me why I hadn't left my abuser sooner, I told him that story and gave him the officer's name. This is what we're currently calling our justice system. We have a combination of people who have been given the seat of power and are overusing it, and we have the people who've been given this power and are actually doing their fucking job and remembering that the reason they have that job is to protect and serve the citizens and to keep us safe. As a mother, I can't help but fucking wonder what type of future, if any, my sons will have. Especially in this fucking country. That is it. I am out. I love you, my sweeties. I'm going to watch something funny and get back to my finals. Love you. If you guys would like to join in the conversation, please comment below Or if you have any ideas for future topics, you can always DM me on all of my social media accounts, or send me an email at Wyona.am@gmail.com and my Tumblr blog, WyM3 blog. You can also check out all of my other YouTube videos, my music and books channel, Wyona A.M, and my WyM3 vlog, which is basically my home base and my vlog channel. And of course, if you haven't, also like and subscribe this channel, my Coffee with WyWy channel, where we will have more and more discussions like this one.